So it has been a little while since I've pushed an update to this module here, and I want to go ahead and do so very soon. But before doing that, I want to actually go ahead and show that you can actually still use this module in the latest versions of Nux, which is Nux 4, while it's still on V3. They're not necessarily, the versions are not necessarily tied to each other, but in a sense, having them linked was what we're really going for when we decided to push this up to version 3. But given how Daniel decided to release Nux 4, it was really intuitive, and there isn't much breaking changes per se, and as a result of that, it makes it much easier to continue supporting these modules. It makes it works very well. There it is a little outdated. Certain packages need to be updated, but given the primary ones that we're working with, which are UIkit and Nux, the way in which their changes are, they're primarily patch and minor changes, but given the busy schedule, haven't been able to really make much changes, but gonna be going to do that very soon. And I also have a Nux project that I'm going to be starting up. So as a result of that, and I'm going to be using Nuxt-UIkit in that project. So as a result of that, I decided to just come and, drag it in, make a video on it as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and push some updates to the dependencies and stuff like that. So as you can see here, as mentioned before, Nux is at v4.3.1, and we're going to be creating a v4 project. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the get started guide here, and I have my terminal open. So I'm just going to cd into my dev directory, and I have a YouTube directory as well. And we could make a project, could make a folder, but I'm just going to go ahead and use pnpm because the command is actually npm create, but I want to use pnpm. And the project that we're going to be creating, I'm going to call it humanities, and that's going to be the name of my project. So this new CLI is pretty awesome. We'll just go ahead and move with the default, which is the minimum or minimal template. We're going to be using pnpm, and for now, I probably should initialize a Git repository, even though I'm not necessarily going to share this here, but I'm still going to initialize a Git repository. All right, so do we want to install the modules? I'm gonna look at what browse does. So it fetches these, and these are primarily the major or supported one, which Nuxt-UIkit isn't listed on the Nux site, which I want to have it up there very soon, but it's going to be after our releases. So it's gonna be after I do the updates, but it's not there now. So I'm just gonna, let me see if I can cancel this out. And yeah, so we just get rid of that. So we're gonna cd now into humanities, and I guess we can do a pnpm run dev to have a look at what it looks like. All right, so I went ahead and opened this in a private window that I have, a private profile that I have specifically for YouTube stuff, and this is the default setup. So we're gonna go in using Vim, and I'm not going to go ahead and explain the structure because that's not the reason for this here. Pretty much I'm just gonna go ahead and delete most of these, and I will just put something in here, literally something, but that's out of that view. And what we want to do now is actually get our Nuxt-UIkit in here. So let's go over here, and we can do a pnpm add. All right, there we go. As you can see, we now have it installed. We can close this out, and if we look inside of our package dependencies, our package.json for our dependencies, we'll see that's there. In the modules now, we can just go ahead and copy this here and go to nuxt.config, and to the end here, we'll just go ahead and paste all of that in. I want to have this formatted, so I'm just gonna use my pretty extension, Vim extension, And there is something that I didn't do, which is I should not have these here. And we can do that again, and that's better. All right, so we'll just save that, and we can close this out from here. And now what we can do is to get some Nuxt-UIkit or some UIkit content. So I could just go ahead and go to the playground and go to app.view, and we could copy everything that is here that says copied. And from here, we can go to the app.view, remove something. We could just remove everything from here. I'll just paste that right in, and everything should still work as expected. So let me go ahead and do pretty again to format everything, and this should not be here. That should be, well, I prefer to have this at the top. Let's paste that in and remove these tags, and then we just go prettier format again to have it. Yeah, so everything is all nicely aligned, and now we can just go ahead and run the terminal for .pnpm run dev. So if we go back to here and it reloads, now we can see that UIkit is working perfectly fine inside of our Nuxt project. There's one thing that I was expecting though that I'm not seeing here, and there should be a pop-up here. So it should toggle this off canvas here when so it's not working perfectly fine per se. So something isn't working as expected, which is the toggle here, and I guess that's something that we need to work out. In addition to that, I've noticed that I'm not seeing the dev tools here, even though in the Nuxt config it's actually enabled. So I'm not sure if it's a Nuxt related issue specifically, or if it's a Nuxt-UIkit. I'll probably look back at the video and see if initially it was there, but after installing the module it disappeared. So we can double check that. But that's pretty much it for this video. You can see that it works for the most part, but these underlying issues, I'm going to note them in the repo. I'll try to note them in the repo, and then we can see if we can have them resolved. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.